Jai Swaminarayan. Today we are reading Loyā 3 of the Vachanāmrut, which is titled One with Faith in God Coupled with the Knowledge of His Glory. On the night of Kartik Vadhi the 13th, Samvat 1877, or the 3rd of December 1820, Shriji Maharaj was sitting on a large decorated cot in Sura Khachar's darbar in Loyā. He was wearing a white dagli made of chint and a white cotton-padded surval. He had also tied a white feto around his head and had covered himself with a white blanket. At that time, an assembly of munis as well as satsangis from various places had gathered before him. Thereupon, Bhagwan Swami and Shivanand Swami asked Shriji Maharaj, "What are the characteristics of a person who has faith in God and his saint, coupled with the knowledge of their glory?" Shriji Maharaj replied, "What would a person who has faith in God and his sant, coupled with the knowledge of their glory, not do for the sake of God and his sant? For them, they would renounce their family, renounce any fear of public ridicule, renounce a kingdom, renounce pleasures, renounce wealth, and even renounce their partner." Then Shriji Maharaj narrated the stories of the following devotees: Rajput Galuji of the village Dadusar, Kushal Kuvar Bhai of Dharmapur, Bharvat Bhai, Raj Bhai, Jivu Bhai, Ladu Bhai, Mota Ram Bhai, Dada Khachar, Mancha Bhakta, Mulji Brahmachari, Labdhi Bhai, or rather, Ladhi Bhai, my apologies, Ladhi Bhai, there, I think that's the most accurate. Anyway, and the Mataji of Bhuj, Muktanand Swami, Samat Patel, and Ahir from the Valak region, Mulji and Krishnaji of the village Mankuva. The two Khati devotees of the village Gundali in the Valak region, and other satsangis. Maharaj described in detail whatever they had done for the sake of God and his sant. Wow. Then he added, "One who has faith in God, coupled with the knowledge of his glory, never disobeys the words of God, and he does as God says." Having said this, he revealed, "What was my nature like? Well, I was such a renunciant that I could stay in one place only as long as the time interval between the morning and the evening milking of cows, not any longer. I had intense vairagya, worldly dispassion. Moreover, I had deep affection for Ramanand Swami. Thus, when Swami sent a message from the city of Bhuj via Mayuramphat, saying, 'If you desire to stay in the satsang fellowship, you will have to stay by embracing its pillar,' I literally embraced a pillar." Seeing this, Mayuramphat said, "You should live according to Muktanand Swami's commands." Thus, before I had the darshan of Ramanand Swami, before I had the sight, I stayed under Muktanand Swami for 9 months. So, one who has the previously mentioned faith in God and his sant can also be known by this characteristic. Shriji Maharaj then narrated the stories of Sundarji, Sudhar, and Dosa Vaniya. After mentioning that one who has such faith in God and his sant has constant enthusiasm, Shriji Maharaj narrated the story of Rana Rajgar. My apologies, lots of Indian names today, and I am having a little trouble. Thank you for your patience. Next, Shriji Maharaj narrated the story of Prahlad. Prahlad said to Nrsimhaji, "Maharaj, I am not afraid of this terrifying form of yours. Moreover, I do not consider your protection of me as true protection. Rather, when you save me from my enemy's troops in the form of the Indriyas, I shall consider that to be true protection. Therefore, a devotee of God would not be elated if God were to protect him physically, and he would not be disappointed if he were not protected. Instead, they would remain carefree and continue to worship God. I might have accidentally said he, which is what it says in this translation, as in English we often use the generic he to describe any gender. But in recent times, there's been a linguistic development of using the singular they as the gender-neutral pronoun, so I've been trying to do that. Moreover, they would intensely realize the glory of God and His Sant. Then Sriji Maharaj narrated the story of the old lady from the village Katlal. Continuing, he said, even if such a devotee were to die painfully, or if a tiger were to devour them, or if a snake were to bite them, or if a weapon were to strike them, or if they were to drown in water, or if they were to die in any other horrific way, still a person having faith in God and His Sant, coupled with the knowledge of their glory, would believe. A devotee of God never suffers from an adverse outcome. They will certainly attain the abode of God. On the other hand, even if a non-believer were to die naturally, and were to be cremated in a funeral pyre with sandalwood and with full obituary rites, they would certainly go to Yampuri, which is the abode of Yama, the Lord of Death. They would understand the difference between the two extremely clearly. That is to say, it doesn't matter what people do to venerate such a person. What matters is what's on the inside. So, a person who develops such firm convictions in their heart should be known as having faith in God and His Sant, coupled with the knowledge of their glory. A person with such faith will definitely reach Brahma Mahol. They will definitely not reside in any other lower abode. Alright, that was a passage jam-packed with Sanskrit and Gujarati terms, so I thank you for allowing me to try my best, and I'll do better next time. Nonetheless, thank you for listening to Loyā 3 of the Vachanāmrut. Jaya Swaminarayan.